According to a person who assisted in organizing the then Prince and Princess of Wales's trip to Canada in 2016, making sure royal trips run smoothly is one of the major challenges. There are many additional factors that contribute to the success of the visits, in addition to ensuring that they are safe and run on time. Being a working member of the royal family requires royal visits, albeit not all is as it seems. Following King Charles and Queen Camilla's brief visit to Northern Ireland, Express.co.uk explores what happens behind the scenes of each and every royal visit. Royal visits are a logistical headache, according to a spokeswoman for the Canadian government who assisted in planning the then Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's visit to Canada in 2016. They stated, ensuring that every engagement is successful, safe, and on time. It goes without saying that there are a lot of operational and logistical details. Royal excursions contain requirements that must be followed, down to the smallest detail, such as timings, just as the daily schedules of the working royals. As the government dictates where travels are taken, the royals frequently have little control over where they travel. In order to resolve political differences and warm up to a country, the Prime Minister may recommend traveling to one where diplomatic relations are strained. As a result, King Charles and Camilla's first overseas trip after taking the throne was to Germany, and then it was postponed because of domestic unrest. The government felt it was crucial that the UK deepen its relations with Europe in the wake of Brexit. Princess Margaret visited the United States for 3 weeks in 1965. According to Walter Padley, the foreign minister, the visit was made specifically at Her Majesty's government's request. The United States and Britain had a strained relationship at the time. In 1964, the UK incurred a payment deficit of £800 million. The US had to agree to a borrowing request from the International Monetary Fund. One rule for royal visits is that they must always travel with an elite security detail. In spite of this, a sizable entourage is not required. Kate and William traveled to Los Angeles in 2011 on a tour with a 7-person entourage. The couple traveled to Canada in 2016 with their children, Princess Charlotte, then 16 months old, and Prince George, then 3 years old. They were accompanied by 12 supporters. Royal tours rarely run longer than 2 weeks, and according to reports, there is never any time for leisurely sightseeing. Royals don't really get much free time to themselves, while on visits, claims royal authority Marcia Moody. It sounds like a lovely life traveling the world, meeting heads of state, and being shown cultural treasures, according to Gordon Rayner, a seasoned royal tour reporter, who said this to The Telegraph. However, I don't feel envious of the royal family. They rarely spend more than 40 minutes at famous locations. One employee of the firm claimed that royals travel with their own alcohol and adhere to several rules of procedure. Express.co.uk quoted Telegraph writer Gordon Rayner as saying, "They occasionally bring their own alcohol, so there's no risk of their drinks being spiked." He continued by saying that the then Prince of Wales and his wife Camilla frequently drank on their own. He said, their police bodyguard would covertly transport a bag containing their drinks, red wine for her and gin and tonic for him. The trips are kept as organized as possible by royal assistants, who use a color-coding system that is unique to each king. The late Queen frequently received a large yellow tag with the label "The Queen" because they utilize a color-coded system for luggage tags. While William and the future king often wore red tags, the Princess of Wales would occasionally receive yellow ones. Prince George receives blue in addition to Princess Anne's traditional color of green. Royal excursions have just recently started to restart since the global pandemic began in 2020, and they are expensive. Taxpayers paid a total of £5.3 million for the monarchy's official travel expenses in 2019 to 2020, an increase of 15%, or £700,000 from £4.6 million in the previous year. In 2021 to 2022, this decreased marginally to £4.5 million, but fewer journeys were made as a result of COVID limits.